1837, 175 years ago, the death of the first white man to be buried in our mountain area was recorded. In fact, it is the first non-Indian burial in all this inland portion of Southern California. Where he was buried later became the site of Fort Tejon at the top of Grapevine Canyon, and how it was recorded was even more unique. As difficult as it may be, we have called upon the spirit of this man to return with us to share how he happened to die.
Probably wondering what am I, a Frenchman, doing here and up here in California? Well, give me a chance. Give me an opportunity to share with you my story. Okay? I was born in St. Louis, you know, as St. Louis, yes? When I was born in St. Louis, it was a small French town of 1,500 people or so, and it was part of a large French occupation of North America. And to the west of us, it was all Spanish people, yeah? The Americans, you guys, I guess we're way over on the coast of North America. So I grew up and was born, let's see. Oh yeah, long time ago. How do I remember? It was 1791. So I've gotten very, very old these past few hundred years or so. But anyway, I'm getting off topic, you know? So I grew up and as many young men want to do, we want to find adventure and journey and find ourselves. So what should I do? But I should become a trapper. That was a very important business to get involved in. People wanted their beaver hats all over the world. They wanted them, and when we hunted the beaver, we could get lots of money for them. So being in St. Louis, the closest place that there was a base for people to hunt beaver, trap beaver, would be in Taos, New Mexico. Yeah? So I journeyed from St. Louis along the Santa Fe Trail. And in the city of Santa Fe, I should say, is a very big trading community. They dealt with all the beaver skins that were coming down from the Southern Rockies, and they grew much sheep there, lots of wool. And so I traveled from Santa Fe up to Taos, and I found a group to join. Most of the time when people went out beaver hunting, they usually signed up with a group that belonged to a company. A company would hire a boss man who would sign up a number of trappers, maybe 40, 50 sometimes. And the boss man of the group, he would write down everyone's name and keep track of all the different amount of pets that each trapper caught. That way, when they got back from their expedition, maybe 6 months or so, the company would give the money to the boss man, and then the boss man would divide the money amongst the men who were trapping that season. So, anyway, we get off track, you know. For many years, I would hunt the Southern Rockies with different groups. We would go to the Green River area, the Gunnison River, and the Arkansas River. And during that time, I had a chance to meet a very important man in my life. His name was Jean-Baptiste Chalifot. He was a voyageur like myself, you know, a Canadian. He was from Canada originally, but a French-American, and we would trap the different rivers of the Southern Rockies. He was a remarkable man, just a fantastic man. He was one of those people, you know them, they are the center of attention, yeah? Anywhere they go, people go to them, they listen to the stories that he tells, and he had this ability. He was quite a leader of men, yeah? So I became friends with him, and he gathered a number of men together, and one season while we were out, he had sprung on us an idea that he had. Because beaver hunting, we had hunted out many different of the rivers, and there wasn't as much beaver to be found. Huh? So he had come up with a brilliant idea how we could make very much money by going to Mexico, Alta California, yeah, here, steal horses, and bring them back to Albuquerque, which they were very much in need. You know, and we knew that. We had seen the prices paid for horses and mules. They were very much in need there. And they had very vast herds out in California here, you know. And there was not many people to watch all the horses. So he says, listen, we'll go out there, we'll steal some horses, we'll bring them back, we'll sell them, we'll make lots of money, and perhaps we'll find some areas in California for beaver trapping. And we had heard, by the way, through British trappers, that in the Tulares Valley, Tulares, which is the big Great Valley out this way, there were many rivers and many beaver. There was golden beaver in California. Yeah. So he gets a group together, including myself, approximately 70 men, 60, 70 men. There are Americans, Frenchmen like myself. There are youths, Indian youths, and many other men from Albuquerque and New Mexico. We travel to California. Yeah. So we are coming up from the Mojave River and the desert area, and that's when we see these beautiful mountains. They are ahead of us. So we decide before we get engaged in our new profession of stealing horses, we would check these mountains out and see what they were like. And they were beautiful. There was a beautiful creek that runs through the Tejon Valley, the Tejon Creek, that indeed did have golden beaver in it at that time. So we made camp at the bottom of Canyon Las Uvas, the Grapevine Canyon, and we would go to the different ranchos and missions and liberate some horses, so to speak. Huh? So we made sure we stocked up on certain provisions, some whiskey. We were going to celebrate ourselves, and we headed back up to our mountain hideaway. And I really haven't described for you how beautiful it is up in Tejon Valley. It is a beautiful place if you haven't spent much time there. This was in, let's see, late fall, I remember. The hills were that golden color, you know, everything had gone to seed, and it was just a beautiful golden color all over the beautiful rolling hills. And the gigantic oak trees. I love those oak trees so much. No matter how hot it was, you could always go underneath an oak tree and lay back and relax, and it was always so cool and quiet underneath them. It used to remind me so much of the grand church in New Mexico. So beautiful. Even though the mountains were so golden brown, there was always the green, emerald green of the river, you know, Tejon Creek. just gorgeous. All this beautiful long green grass, the sedge grass that the deer and the antelope would eat, and the grizzly bears, you know. The California grizzly bears, they were everywhere. They were not shy in any way, not like the black bear, you know. They would walk about without any concern of you. Beautiful animals, about 1,000 pounds, beautiful cinnamon-colored fur, and on their back, between their shoulder blades, was a cross of white hairs. That's how you could always tell the difference. Besides the size, they were so huge. Fantastic animals, beautiful animals. And they were wonderful to hunt. I mean, the skin was absolutely magnificent, the warmth you got from it. And the meat of the bear was fantastic. It gave so much energy, you know, so rich and fatty. So, anyway, my friends and I, we've come up, and I'm taking a moment in the valley, and my friends have set up camp, and we've enjoyed the refreshments that we brought along with us, and perhaps I was a little too lightheaded, but I was there, and the fire was up in me from having fought the battle, and I decided I wanted to take one of the grizzly bears, yeah? It was not too difficult to find. They were walking all over. I spotted a beautiful big one, at least 1,000 pounds, that I would hunt myself. I had my rifle, I had my pistol, I had my knife. I'm a very good shot, you know? So I left my companions and I started to track the bear. I hadn't gotten too far when the bear stopped to take a drink near Tijon Creek. I raised my rifle. I had the shoulder blades in my sights, and I fired. It was a perfect shot deep in his chest. The bullet went. He collapsed like 1,000-pound bear would collapse, you know? So I make my way over. I've got my pistol to give the coup de grace to the bear, and I've got my knife to dress it out. And I get to the bear, and I'm about to shoot him in the head just to make sure, when all of a sudden he rears up, and with one huge claw, he smashes into the side of my body, and things go black for me. But there was this high-pitched sound, you know. Far off, I could hear it, and it kept getting a little louder and louder, very high, and I realized that it was me. I was screaming for my life. The bear had taken off my right arm at the elbow, and my ribs were broken, and blood was just rushing out of me. I felt much pain, but I was getting fainter and fainter, and strange. At one point, I had a sense that I was above myself, you know, looking down, and yet still there inside my body. And unfortunately, my friends had not heard my screams. I must have been too far away from the camp. So the bear proceeded to eat my left hand, and he chewed off both of my feet. At that point, I kind of don't remember so well what happened, but I do remember at one point waking up and looking up and seeing light, large rectangular light, and I realized I was in a hole. I could see one of my compatriots at the foot of a giant oak tree, and he was carving my name in it and the date of my death. If you die a gruesome death, they will name a town after you. Merci beaucoup.